here we have a function that's given to us, h of t, so it's a function in terms of t. And then we have this part A here, this is a problem to do, and it's an expression. All we're trying to do is evaluate, simplify the expression. So we can figure out what h of 2 is. So I'm going to go over here and write h of 2. So I go to my function, I plug in a 2. No problem. Then I want to subtract. Now I always have to be careful when I'm subtracting. What am I going to subtract? I'm going to subtract all of h of 1. So I'm going to go back to the function now and plug in a 1. So you can see we used the function twice. Once for the value of 2, replacing t with 2, and then once with 1, replacing the value of t with 1. And we're subtracting, we're finding the difference. Now, if you wanted to put brackets around this part, you could. I don't know if it makes it clearer to see, but you could do that. Now, what about the denominator? The denominator just says 2 minus 1. We know what 2 minus 1 is. We're not evaluating anything. It's just a number, 2, and we're subtracting 1, 2 minus 1. Okay, so now these are, this is going to be a numeric expression. We don't have any variables now, so all we have to do is follow the order of operations. So we have negative 16 times 4. That's the 2 squared. And then minus, I still have to be careful when I'm doing the subtracting, but this is going to be negative 16, times 1, plus 80. However you want to, oh man, let's do that. I don't need the 1 in the denominator anymore, so it's just a numerator thing now. Negative 64 plus 160. I can go ahead and combine in those brackets. I can make them parentheses. It's a 64. So now I've got a negative 64 plus 160 minus another minus another 64. So that's what 128 from 160. So I think that's a 32 if I'm remembering right. And you could always pull out a calculator if you had to. Okay, so that is that one. We have another example. Let's go to another screen. Same function, but this time we're going to be evaluating at a, so a variable here, replacing t with a. So we're going to start it up kind of in the same setup here. So I'll go ahead and use the brackets, negative 16, and that's a squared, plus 80 times a. That's the first part. That's the h of a. Now we're going to subtract. You could copy over what you used on the last part, but it was negative 16, 1, because the 1's the same here. 1 squared plus 80 times 1. So you could just reuse what you did on that if you want. In the denominator, we have a minus 1. We can't simplify that this time because we don't have a value for a, so we're kind of stuck with that a minus 1 for now. All right, up in the numerator, then, you're going to have a negative 16a squared plus 80a minus, what's that going to be? Well, it was a negative 16 and an 80. I think it's 64 over a minus 1. Now, you might say, well, I've done everything I can do. I simplified what I could, and it looks great. Well, we really want to try to simplify more if we can, and our only hope here is this is a rational expression, is to maybe factor the numerator and maybe something cool is going to happen. So let's see if something cool happens. So in the numerator, I know I can take out a negative 16, so I'm going to do that. And the more you work with these rational expressions, this is actually, that negative 16 makes us think that it has something to do with gravity, and so it's probably projectile motion formula. I think we have that somewhere. So it's something we see in physics, so it might look familiar to you with the 16, and then maybe you're getting used to numbers like 80 and 64, and they're both divisible by 16. So fun stuff. Okay, so then the question is, does that trinomial now, a squared minus 5a plus 4, does that factor? And it actually does. Factors into a minus 4 and a minus 1. And great news, right? So here's the light at the end of the tunnel. The a minus 1s are going to cancel, so yay. And now, do they want us to distribute that or just leave it negative 16 times a minus 4? I don't know. I'd probably go ahead and distribute it. I didn't on my worksheet, but why not? So either way, you could leave it factored if you wanted to. Okay, there you go. So, looks good.